Hello everyone, I'm Betty and welcome to my channel. This month, the Divine and I would like to discuss the definition of light levels. Light levels and light quotients are another way of interpreting consciousness. Higher light levels translate into higher consciousness. A light quotient is the amount of light a human vessel can hold or contain at any given time. So years back, the planetary councils lowered the light quotient for humanity to 51%, which is now sufficient to ascend. So we're very fortunate that this has occurred. And this was made possible due to Gaia's continuing ascension by raising her own consciousness, which in turn allowed us to receive higher downloads of light. So in the past, in order to ascend, you needed a light quotient of 85% or above. And in Earth's earlier timeline, there were only about 8,000 masters that actually were able to ascend. And we know some of them as Buddha, Muhammad, Yeshua. These were the ones that were able to achieve that. And currently, we now have around 15,000 masters who have ascended or graduated. So when you stop to think of the billions of people that inhabit our planet, you begin to understand what it takes to become an ascended master and what a rare and special achievement it is. So kudos to them. Not an easy task. We also have councils of light that monitor our frequency, not just at our personal levels, but also the light levels of our cities, countries, and planets throughout our solar system. And they do this to measure and monitor these consciousness levels as to gauge where we are on a personal level, but also as a planetary level in our evolution. So they're able to see how we're doing and monitor our progress. And they're kind of giving me right now, like, you know how you take your child to the pediatrician when they're little and they're monitoring the weight and the height and, you know, are their skills functioning and, you know, that type of thing. It's the same thing. They monitor us to see how we're coming along. So they know what is needed for an individual or a planet to evolve. And the Divine would add that ascension should be looked upon as ongoing and not as a final destination, because we just continue. When we finish one cycle, we just simply begin another, and this is just ongoing. So if you're looking for that final destination point, there is none. We just keep going. But these percentages refer to the point of awakening. Lower percentages are seen as not having reached a point of even acknowledging awakening, okay? And the higher levels are on, you're at the verge of just beginning to understand who you truly are. And awakening itself is when you begin to understand the illusion of the world that exists around us, meaning you're here to create and have experiences and not to suffer. Our body is just a vessel that we're borrowing. And when you start to awaken, you realize that nothing is ever really lost and nothing ever dies, because we are just made of pure energy. For example, when one reaches a point in meditation, the body just dissolves and disappears. And you're basically in the cosmos. And your true form is left, which is that of pure energy, your energy signature, pure love and light. And then when you decide to come back in from your meditation, the body starts to reform again, okay? So you begin to realize that there are infinite worlds, races, and fractals of oneself. So you could be in a multitude of different lives and dimensions, playing all different parts and roles. And they vary depending on what you have chosen to play out. So this is when the illumination process begins, and you start to have those light bulb moments. And you're going, oh, there's so much more than I ever understood or experienced. And this is that point, that light level point where you start to go, oh, okay, I get it now. And then you dive a little bit deeper and you keep going. There are also pockets of people and sacred places around the world that hold higher consciousness. And if you happen to travel, you might have experienced these places, such as Tibet, Egypt, or Israel. And when you walk into the space, you instantly feel the peace and love of the higher frequencies. It's unmistakable, and you go, oh, this is what home feels like. Our true home feels like. And depending on where you are, you might actually experience feelings of being overwhelmed, because if you're vibrating lower than that, or not at that same level of light, you're not acclimated to it, and it starts to move the distortions in the bodies around, and it makes it feel very uncomfortable. And I can tell you, when visiting Sedona, Arizona, I feel the most amazing heightened frequencies of love and peace. And it's like, I could just stay here. I don't really want to leave. While others, I've witnessed their anxieties come on, and from the higher consciousness, and they feel the need, like, I have to leave. I have to get out of here now, because they don't understand what's happening. And those distortions are kind of making themselves known. So you will know these pockets if you travel to them. And there's usually a spot in every area, whether it's a state or a country, there's always those spaces that you will find that energy. I also found it very interesting that the Scandinavian countries hold the highest levels of consciousness. And when I kind of checked into that, I was kind of noticing and feeling that the colder mountainous regions hold the higher levels of light. And which I'm sure most of you are aware of too. Why do so many people want to climb Mount Everest, or go to the Himalayas, and it's that energy, it's that feeling of being there. So I found that interesting. Now, we have intentionally not given the actual numbers or percentages for the reasons that some may choose to judge or project what those numbers mean. And we are all okay. I'm sorry, they're just giving me a break here. We are all where we're supposed to be, and the divine does not wish anyone to feel guilty or superior according to the levels or percentages. So in other words, if you have a high level, you may go, I'm better than everybody else. Or if you have a low level, you may feel guilty. Well, gee, why am I not there? So they specifically asked not to leave those numbers out. Just know that you are where you're supposed to be at this time. So now the question is, so how do you know where your light quotient is as an individual? First of all, everyone is unique, and you are where you're supposed to be in your life stream. Second, you must do the internal work and look at yourself and ask, what are my thoughts? What are my words and actions revealing? Are they reflective of joy, love? And are they used for the upliftment of others? When you are able to consistently live from your heart space, you naturally vibrate at a higher consciousness of love and unity. If your words, thoughts, and actions are that of a negative nature, it will show up in ways of anger, judgment, shame, or the need to defend yourself in being correct or right. So this reveals that there are feelings of lack that is going on, and that it's expressing itself as being unfulfilled, and that you're unhappy, and there's states of confusion, chaos, as we see so much in the outer world. So this is signaling yourself to look at where you're living. Are you living from fear-based reactions? Which, if you are, then that lowers the state of your consciousness, and that lowers your percentage of your light quotient. Light levels will also fluctuate depending on what is happening personally and collectively. So if you should experience a trauma, or there could be a war that affects us globally, that will cause fluctuations, because everybody's energy is going up into the field, and whether it's negative or positive, that's where the light quotients and the light levels will fluctuate. So it's important to realize that. Now, we all have the ability to shift our vibrations, and that's why we're here. It comes down to a matter of choice. We have the choice to come from duality, or and look upon things as right or wrong, or we have the choice to be in the state of neutrality and be in presence, which then automatically shifts us into the higher light levels. So it's very important to take that time out, and most of us are already, if you stop and take that moment, most of us are always aware what we're feeling. If you're feeling not so good, if you're feeling in a negative space, that's when you need to check in and say, oh, wait a minute here, what's going on? How am I reacting to what's happening within or externally outside of me, okay? So it's important to check in for that. And then if you feel yourself in the high vibe and you're loving life and this is great and everything's, your light quotient is in the higher consciousness. Also, each time we have a cosmic event or we have a reset, which we just did with the equinox, we receive an influx of codes and frequencies. We then have a choice to activate those codes with love or leave them dormant. So as you kind of get, hit with those energies, which, most people feel, they may not always understand what it is, but you definitely feel it, what's going on. You can choose to go, let me check in, and I'm not sure what it is, then let me just take it in as love. Let me take it in as love, absorb that as love, and move forward through that, because you have the choice to do so. Or if you stay in the negative state, then those codes and those frequencies, they will absorb into your body and integrate, but they will not become activated. They will stay dormant. So as we head into the higher vibrations, it's important to understand that we have these choices and in order to raise our light levels. And when we raise our light levels, we lift the world's levels. So if, when light workers get together at certain occasions and they're focusing on that love and that higher consciousness, it raises the world. So it's a grand opportunity every time there's a gathering to do so. And when we do this, we are ensuring a peaceful future. We may not be here to witness it, but we are certainly a huge part in making it so, and leaving that for the generations that will come on board and know that, you know, we were the ones to help change this. So let's check and see if they want to say anything else. Nope. Good job. Good job. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I am truly grateful, as I do not pay for advertising. So, you know, every like and subscribe helps lift the channel so more people can receive the information. And anyone that is interested in my services or to book a session, my website is posted below. And this month's light language transmission is for the activation of the recent equinox codes. And we might even be kind of activating some of the codes that are going to be coming forth with the eclipses that we have in October. I will send that out in the newsletter. We have the 2 eclipses in October, so it will be another potent month. So just stay in that high vibe. So with that, I will begin the transmission. Nahushte alahane tia suya nea kuranaya. Ariana sinene la halama oriatia to oriata siete. Yahrene sisia puta enia teasutu. Ayahrane orientisita. Akrera anu shu ikri tata rutana nayaso and hraknina su arera manu nea kurataya na ayasute ala moku ushte anea yepia tusena narioaniata sa ukuriata su chutana a nariata su ibiti tikanea seala anuta yahuka sa Narianata, agareta so de pariate si di agiatu foratatia, durama aya sete atu sena, la hamanea tu yeda, to foranianea and wishte iniana tu yasa, ne mehaka asuitiana yenene, kuraniata yenemiane aha aushta a, naha enani yuiania kaiste mioneata. Na urete e a tapu uta na mi aia keteria na e pariate sete ai karepia nepe a pratu so na oruia tia se ane aku da roria na kia ka hia ke de sapa o tu asa teana dorita asa manoniaka na teria nesi briaka aratashe and orea ishte mina Wuritana yasoyasa bakuna ayaneata. Naruta Sarianayakuna Maurianta Ariana Suyenetea Narana tuye tukasa ne uranaya. Blessings, everyone, and have a fabulous October. I wish you all much love. Till next month. Okay? Take care.